AITAH for causing CPS to visit my mom's home and ruining my relationship with her after talking to a therapist. 21 M, college senior, currently a commuter living in New Jersey, graduating in the spring. I've had a pretty rocky relationship with my mom, and she's often yelled at me, my younger brother, still in HS, and my dad. My parents are both conservative, and they're first-generation immigrants from an Asian country, and sometimes I play along, but I'm deeply closeted LGBT, though I suspect she might already know, but is just politely avoiding mentioning it. I benefit from my parents giving me money every now and then, for example to pay rent when I later move into my off-campus apartment in a few months, so usually I stray away from pissing her off that much. I do have a paid job, but it doesn't pay really a lot. They're so good at controlling my life and finances that they can easily deny me stuff like helping me pay for rent, etc., and have access to my bank account to make things more convenient. A month or two ago, they even tried making me sign this thing to give them more legal control over some of my medical stuff, and have tried the same a few years ago, when I was 18. It's only recently that I've felt safe waking up, and I see a therapist who's currently helping with this. So overall, as you can see, the dynamic is pretty stressful, and it's been like this for a while. However, it never escalated anywhere close to an actually physical level until a few days ago. One school night, I was trying to fall asleep when I heard my mother yelling at my younger brother, trying to get him up because he didn't do his SAT prep or didn't brush his teeth or something. And I do mean yelling, like enough to rouse me awake, and even though it was targeted towards my brother and not me, I still felt pretty infantilized. She was making a bit of noise, and crucially, I heard a bit of slapping, I assume, on the back. It was pretty one-sided that time, like when I got up to see what was going on, I saw my brother was out cold. My dad was begging my mom to leave my brother alone from downstairs, and I tried to lightly pry my mom away from my brother. But my mother and my brother really wanted me to stay out of this. But I did hear what sounded like slapping, and wasn't sure if staying out of this was the right thing to do. Eventually Dad walked in, and the whole mood was just depressing in general. A few days later, which is yesterday, I had a therapy session. By that point, Dad had already left for a long-term international trip to a different continent and is probably already on a plane as I'm writing this. My therapist is already aware that I've been having a few conflicts with my parents. And when I recounted to them honestly about what transpired that earlier night, including the age of my brother, they told me they were legally mandated to report it to my state's CPS. We ended up going through with it even though I was and am concerned it'd do more harm than good. The person on the other end of the hotline said they'd send somebody over today, or maybe tomorrow, to speak with my mother and brother. I tried to answer their questions calmly and honestly, but when they asked if there was a history of this at home, I dishonestly denied. So, even though my parents have slapped me, and probably my brother, I can't specifically remember, on the rear as punishment when I was like 3 to 5, it's like a common Chinese culture thing. They did clarify they wouldn't press to involve my father since he's away, nor would they even press to involve me as I'm an adult and not directly involved. I'm worried about the actual visit though, and fear I might have screwed up big time. My therapist had to reassure me right afterwards that they're most likely not going to force my brother to go to foster care or arrest my mother or anything, but I'm still concerned of the possibility. Thankfully, I'm already on campus and have even made plans to spend the night with someone I know, so I'll be away from home for most of today and tomorrow, so when the visit does occur, I won't be present. I'm not sure whether my father's absence is going to be a liability or an asset, since he's often acted as a foil to my mother when she gets enraged, occasionally vice versa, but honestly less often. But lately I've been leaning liability. No, let me rephrase, more specifically I'm worried about my mom being a dick. She'll obviously know it's me since I'm the only one who brought it up with her since, and she's kept telling me she did nothing beyond dragging, not slapping, and instructing me not to make up stuff, and that she was just trying to rouse my brother awake as effectively and quickly as she could. And my brother, who honestly kind of hates me at the moment, I could genuinely see him take mom's side or defend her. And now I'm starting to question whether I did hear my mom slapping my brother, or whether I should have done this. Like, what if she was slapping the bed and it sounded like her slapping my brother? What if I truly am delusional and making things up because of paranoia? What if I can't trust my own senses and deserve to go to a mental hospital? What if I really did have to go to a mental hospital for a week and get injected with drugs and mom really did save me? This wasn't in middle or high school or anything, I'm talking about something that happened recently. What if I'm the one who ends up having to be taken away? I've actually fought with my brother a few times, but not since adulthood. What if someone spins this out of proportion to land me into trouble? Most likely, I don't think CPS will immediately take anyone away since my mom already said she'd stop. This is a one-time incident rather than a pattern, and no one is being severely injured. But I fear the next time I see my mom she might be pissed, like extremely pissed, and do stuff like stop giving me money regularly, and formally kick me out, something she's long drawn, a bit of an established line against doing, in retaliation. Sorry if this post felt rushed, I'm kind of just yapping at this point. I'm just really worried, like it seems like all outcomes will fail miserably. For example, I don't want my mom being an asshole to me or my brother, and I definitely don't want anyone slapping or hitting anyone. You're welcome to ask me any clarification questions you like and I'll readily answer.